So at first, I would like to welcome our first speaker, who is Dr. Mohammad Ullah Firoz, who is the Associate Professor of Cardiology from Sir Solimullah Medical College. Sir, I would like to welcome you to present your talk, and this is on heart failure of Bangladesh, heart failure Bangladesh perspective. The talk will be on heart failure Bangladesh perspective. Please welcome Associate Professor Mohammad Ullah Firoz. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Samia. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and respected chairpersons, audience, dear colleagues. So I'll be talking on heart failure Bangladesh perspective. I'll try to concentrate on four important things. What is the burden of heart failure in Bangladesh? What are the contributing factors for heart failure in Bangladesh? And what are how we are doing with heart failure in our country? And what should be done in about heart failure in our country. So everyone of us know that heart failure is a pandemic of 21st century in the field of cardiovascular medicine. And more than 64 million people are suffering from heart failure at this very moment. And you know very well that median survival of these patients with symptomatic heart failure is only 5 years. So it is creating a significant socioeconomic burden, representing a major cause of hospital admission and readmission, loss of work and productivity, and of course, death. So what is the prevalence of heart failure in Bangladesh? We have got no national survey, no national registry, so we can't tell you the exact figure of heart failure numbers in Bangladesh. But we are facing more and more heart failure in our country. Why? This is because of this non-communicable disease. If you look at the data of 2014, around 59% of our total death was because of non-communicable diseases. And in 2018, 67% of the total death is because of non-communicable diseases. And you know very well that most of the non-communicable diseases end up in cardiovascular death, cardiovascular disease, and ultimately heart failure and leading to death. What are the causes of increased non-communicable disease? It is economic development, industrialization and urbanization of the country, inappropriate dietary habit, lower physical activity, consumption of tobacco is still high in our country, consumption of recreational drugs, and a substantial proportion of rural population of our country, more than 70% have 3 or more risk factors for chronic non-communicable diseases. And this is also reflected in a national survey by NIPSOM, World Health Organization, and Ministry of Health. In urban area, 29% patient has got hypertension, and in rural area, it is 24%. Diabetes mellitus is around 7% and 13%. Dyslipidemia is 27% and 32%. Physical inactivity is around 27% and 37%. And smoking habit in both sexes is around 40%. If you consider about the male persons, it is around 60%. So another important thing is the age pyramid. This is the age pyramid of 2000. Most of the people are in the age group of 0 to 14. And this is the age pyramid in 2020. Over the course of last 15 years, more and more people are being added in the middle age and elderly age group. And this is also a tabulated form of this showing it. And in 2050, we are going to have an age pyramid like this. That means we are getting more and more people in the middle age and elderly group of patients. Though we all know that cardiovascular disease is affecting younger patients in our community. This is the information by Selim Yusuf in 2014, that median age of myocardial infarction in South Asians was 52 years in comparison to 62 years in European origin and 65 to 70 years in USA. Cardiovascular risk factors increase exponentially with age once Indian subcontinent people reach 30 to 39 year age group, and then tend to have more severe manifestation of cardiovascular disease and higher fatality rates. Heart failure patients in Asia Pacific region are younger and have more severe signs and symptoms. So what is the data in our country? This is a study conducted in BSMEMU, and you can see that 40% of the heart failure patients are in the group of 50 to 60 years, the most productive years of a person. And what are the causes of heart failure in our country? This is a study conducted in NICVD and 8 other medical colleges in the inpatient department, you can see that 66% of the heart failure is because of ischemic heart disease, 15% is because of hypertension, and 8.56% is because of valvular heart disease. That means this ischemic heart disease, hypertension, and valvular heart disease are creating 90% of the load of heart failure in our country. So what would be the burden of heart failure in coming years? Or what are the factors or diseases which are contributing to heart failure in our country? Ischemic heart disease is definitely an important disease process, though we haven't got any national survey, but from different papers, different meta-analysis, we can say that around 4 to 6 million people are suffering from ischemic heart disease in our country at this very moment. And about 2.6 million people have got an episode of MI. And out of them, 6 lakh people are suffering from heart failure. The annual incidence of heart failure only because of ischemic heart disease is around 67,500 per year. It's considered about the treatment facilities, treatment infrastructure, and treatment compliance of ischemic heart disease in our country. And regarding hypertension, 3 million people of our country suffering from hypertension. Only 10 to 12% of them has got blood pressure. 50% of them don't know that they have got hypertension. And this is around 70,000 or 69,000 new heart failure each year in Bangladesh. And obesity is also increasing in our country. Most important thing is that in our population, the waist height ratio is more than the European population. So the outcome of the heart failure in our population is worse than the Western population, who are also obese, but their waist height ratio is low, though their BMI is more. Diabetes is also an important factor in our country. Around 8.8 million people are suffering from diabetes in Bangladesh, and it is creating ischemic heart diseases, is creating different sorts of cardiomyopathy leading to heart failure. Every year, around 1 lakh people with diabetes mellitus will develop heart failure in our country. CKD is another important factor for heart failure. COPD, we have got 1.48 crore people suffering from COPD in our country, and there are 7 to 14 lakh people suffering from pulmonary hypertension with right heart failure because of the COPD. And rheumatic heart disease, we have taken some control over rheumatic heart disease, but still more than 13,000 children are suffering from rheumatic heart disease, and 25% of them will develop heart failure. You must consider about the adult patients who are undertreated or partially treated or treated with rheumatic valvular heart disease. And the study or the number of valvular heart disease in our country because of non-rheumatic origin is not yet available. Congenital heart disease is another important thing. Around 30,000 children are born every year with congenital heart disease in our country. 20% of them has got heart failure at birth or immediately after birth. We have got only 2,500 surgery, 900 to 1,000 interventions in congenital heart disease every year. That means more than 25,000 congenital heart disease are not treated. So heart failure because of this non-treated congenital heart disease, partially treated heart disease, or treated with corrective or palliative surgery are being added to the pool of heart failure in our country. What is the number? We don't know. Maternal health is also an important thing. About 1.4% of the total heart failure patients in our inpatient department is because of peripartal cardiomyopathy. It has got a mortality of around 10% and chronicity of around 14%. In infectious disease, we haven't got any Chagas disease. We have taken control of the diphtheria, but we have got dengue myocarditis. We have got COVID myocarditis. We don't know about the late sequelae of this condition. Diastolic heart failure is also prevalent in our country. Though it is a very small study of 124 people, around 24% of the outpatient department are suffering from heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. Definitely the number will be increased if we can make an stringent criteria for diastolic heart failure. And after all these things, what is the prevalence of heart failure in our country? It would be, if we extrapolate the criteria or statistics of Indian population in our country, we can say that around 15 to 20 lakh people of our population, adult population, are suffering from heart failure in our country. And this is also reflected in different OPD departments of the cardiac hospital also. And what is the economic burden of heart failure? Globally, it is around 108 billion US dollar per year. Individual patients' economic burden, it is around 800 in South Korea and 25,000 in Germany. If we take lowest amount of money, that is 800 US dollar for Bangladeshi patient, it will cost around 12,000 crore taka for heart failure patients every year in our country. And this cost includes cost of diagnosis and treatment, cost of working hour loss of the patient, cost of working hour loss of the caregiver. Regarding the treatment, regarding the drug treatment, as Professor Atale said already, that in most of the countries worldwide, diuretics and digoxin are the commonest drugs used for heart failure. We don't know about the statistics of our country, but what we know from a small study in BSMMU that only 28% of the population adheres to their dietary advice. Only 12% patients adhere to their lifestyle modifications. 9% of them are immunized. 3% of them know how to take self-care management. And only 16% of the people have got a plan at their discharge regarding the further management. And this is also reflected in the device therapy. It is still in the double figure, around 50 over the last 5 years. And we haven't got any center which is capable of LVAD implantation or heart transplantation. So how many heart failure clinics are in Bangladesh? It will be less than 10 if we call it a heart failure clinic. I think most of the heart failure clinics are not a full-fledged heart failure clinic, as Professor Athali sir was showing a model of heart failure clinic. Are our cardiologists trained in heart failure management? Probably many of them, but none of them are dedicated in heart failure management. Are our paramedics and nurses are trained? No. Are our patients aware of heart failure clinic concept? No. Are our primary healthcare physicians aware of heart failure management? Probably no. Do the internists know when to refer the patients to cardiologists? And do they refer? I asked one of the internists, he's a senior one. He said, I only refer the patient with heart failure to a cardiologist when the ejection fraction is less than 40%. He was very honest. Are all investigations, drugs, and devices available for our patients? No. What about the research activities in our country? You can see the different researches of heart failure worldwide. Only 0% to 27% of the Asian populations were included in these studies. And if you look at the Asian studies, none of the Bangladeshi patients were included in these studies. Why? Reluctance to conduct and participate in clinical trials, poor awareness of the heart failure burden and knowledge of the clinical trial process, and poor access of the patients to hospitals, medical centers equipped with heart failure care, particularly for rural and remote patients. Still, there are some studies going on different centers, mainly in Dhaka, as a part of the thesis process and other processes. And I think there will be more focused study, more randomized study, more structured studies, which will help us to build up our data. What should we do now? We should create heart failure clinics, which will help us in the disease management, which will help the patients with nutritional management and immunization, which will arrange follow-up of the patients physically by transtelephonic or telemedicine. Domiciliary care is not still possible in our country. We should arrange end-stage heart failure care, and we should arrange provider education and social support. We can start it from the grassroots level. We have shown that we have created this process in other diseases like infectious disease, maternal and child health. They are in other cases from the Upazila level. We can start it from the Upazila level or sub-centers. They can be trained for screening of heart failure by history, clinical examination, investigations. They should know how to continue the pharmacological treatment of the heart failure and at least when to refer the patient to a heart failure clinic. We should establish heart failure clinics in the district hospitals for diagnosis, for pharmacological therapy in the inpatient or outpatient department, and follow-up and referral. We should establish it in every medical college where we can rearrange diagnosis, pharmacological therapy, device therapy, and follow-up and referral. Each and every cardiac center should have a heart failure clinic with the facilities of diagnosis, pharmacological therapy, device therapy, and at least 1 or 2 centers of our country should be capable of implanting LVAD or other assist devices. And we should try for heart transplantation in the next decade or like this. We should work on this. Take home message: heart failure is going to be one of the most important causes of morbidity and mortality of our population in near future. Probably we are going to have more elderly people with heart failure and comorbidities, and probably we are getting them before getting enough social support to take care of them, their illness. We should increase awareness about the problem among the physicians, cardiologists, internists, policymakers, among the general population everywhere. We should improve our database. We should improve our research works. We should have a guideline to deal with our patients. And we should improve the health structure to deal with heart failure, improving efficiency of care and improving access of the patients to the heart failure clinics. Most important of all, we should work to reduce prevalence of non-communicable diseases. Thank you all. Thank you all for patience hearing.